silent night. It came upon the midnight clear. Angels from the realms of glory in the bleak midwinter. All these familiar phrases that we have been hearing perhaps ad nauseum over the past couple months in stores, but that we sing tonight to remember and reflect upon that very first Christmas. When I was a child, I had such joy going to set up the nativity set. Taking the kings each day, going along until it got to Epiphany. Hiding baby Jesus until it was Christmas Eve to put him in the manger. And then, of course, going to the candlelight service on Christmas Eve and hearing those wonderful songs and, of course, falling asleep. But when we think about Christmas, often we just think of those images. Peace on earth, goodwill toward all. Joy, hope, love. Wonderful images that are meant to inspire us, to encourage us as we are in this darkest time in the season, to know that we have hope. I love Christmas. I love the version from Luke's Gospel we just heard. There's something so quaint about how the Gospel writer puts it. But there's something wrong with the narrative that we all have in our fond memories and our hearts. It has a lot to do with some of the carols that we sing, with some of our traditions. But I want you to think for a moment, just go back 2,000 years. Go back 2,000 years to a village of Nazareth, which is in the north of the Sea of Galilee. And the occupying government declares that there needs to be a census to record how many people there are so that they can make sure that they can be occupied well and taxed well. And so we find Mary and Joseph, Mary with child, we're told riding on a donkey. If you've ever ridden on a donkey, it's not the smoothest ride of your life. But making their way from Nazareth down to Bethlehem, which is south of Jerusalem, which on a donkey and a walk would be a several-day journey over rocky roads, over hills, with dust, with thousands, literally thousands of people going to their hometown where they had to be registered, had their census taken. It had to have been chaos. I'm sure there would have been people who were frightened. Knowing the Romans at the time, they were probably trying to extort people along the way. And then, tired, worn out, probably smelly, because they've been traveling for several days and on a donkey. They get to Bethlehem. This small town, which is very close to the desert, which itself is a very dusty town, which people from all over are trying to find a place to stay for the night before they have to go before that registration. And like anybody trying to find a hotel when everything's been booked up, Mary and Joseph were having no luck. Remember, they were tired. They're probably hungry. They needed a place to stay because Mary was very soon going to give birth to a child. And any woman, I don't know, but I've been around enough women, any woman in here that knows when you're about ready to give birth, all you want to do is get to a place to just rest and get it over with. And this couple, this strange couple of a very young girl and probably an older man trying to find a place, and everywhere they go the doors are slammed shut on them. They can't find a place. And finally one person has passion on this homeless couple. This homeless, tired, hungry, smelly couple, and it says they can go and stay in the barn. The barn, where livestock is, where you put the animals that you are going to drink the milk from or kill for the next day. That is a place, if you've ever been to a barn, that is really smelly. The dung, which is everywhere. You have the moldy hay. You have the barn roof, which sometimes just leaks when it rains. It wasn't a comfortable place. It was a horrible place to rest their head, but it was a place. So we have this tired, smelly, hungry, exhausted woman ready to give birth any moment, couple having to go to this disgusting barn. And it is there that Mary gives birth to Jesus. And there was no C-section. There were no drugs. This was a natural birth, which is traumatic, which is painful, which is a moment when the wife looks at the husband and says, "I'm going to kill you for doing this to me," where words are exchanged. It is anything but clean and sanitary. It's not like at the hospitals that we go to now. It was bloody, it was painful, it was dirty. But the moment Jesus was born, in that single moment, everything changed. Mary and Joseph could have cared less about what they just went through. God, through the birth of Jesus, came to shatter the world that we know, to break all bounds of physics and science that you and I know to be true. in order for one purpose, that you and I, in the midst of darkness and wondering and worrying, no longer have to worry. God loved you and me so much that God was willing to empty God's self into a human being to experience everything that we go through in our lives. When Jesus was hungry, he cried. When Jesus needed his nappy changed, he cried. When Jesus grew up and when he was with his friends, he laughed. When he was in the desert, he was hungry. When he saw somebody sick, he had compassion. When he knew what his call was, he went willingly to that cross. And 3 days later, out of an act of even greater love, God raised him to life, once again breaking through the world that we know, in order that you and I can really experience peace. We are living in such an absolutely crazy, insane world right now. The words, the hate, the fear, the killings are making all of us yearn for that peace that Christ brings us. But remember, just as that birth some 2,000 years ago happened over an extended period of time when there was mess, there was smell, there was hunger, there was thirst. In the midst of all of this chaos, that is when we who believe must put our trust in the one who came, born in Bethlehem, God incarnate, to save us from ourselves, to give us that peace that we need, to give us that hope that we yearn for, to give us that love which surpasses all understanding. I will still in my life be cherishing my memories of Christmases long ago. I still will be singing the Christmas carols, thinking about the angels and the stillness of the manger. But knowing what God had to go through, what Mary and Joseph had to go through, in order that we don't have to worry anymore, puts Christmas in a total different light for me. It is true peace that Christ brings. And may you find that peace this Christmas. Amen.
Amen.